Welcome back, guys. How's it going? It's Apex Predator here. So as you can see from those little intro clips, quite an eventful final round to the season. So this is the final round of the Nations Championship. I'll show you the manufacturers tomorrow. I did this one after the manufacturers. I had no time to practice either of them. I was in two minds whether or not I should do this race, but it's the final round, so I thought I might as well, even without the practice. We'll see how it goes. So this was 11 laps of Suzuka in Group 4 cars. You're free to choose in Nations, of course, which car you want. Pretty much everyone chose the Megane Trophy. I haven't driven it before, so why not? I picked it. Why not? Break my trophy cherry. Seems like an ideal time to give it a go, really, in the final round. So see how we get on. So I can tell you straight away, qualifying was abysmal. Did not get a clean lap in. So my target for quali would have been a 208, really, probably a mid 208 easily on the cars, but I didn't even get out of the 210s. That's how poor my quali was. So we're going to be starting right at the back. A few people dropped during this lobby as well, so I think there's only going to be 16 cars on the grid, and 3 of them couldn't qualify either. So the 3 cars at the back were actually some of the quickest, but you're going to see in a second their qualifying lap time is just 10 digits or whatever. It's that bug where I think if the lobby freezes, just look at these guys. So slightly bought lobby, and yeah, not a full lobby either, but see what we can do. But I'll tell you straight away, the poor qualifying I think pretty much affected my whole race. And you can see the mileage as well on the car. That's the amount of practice I did. That's pretty much just running it in the practice sessions. I would have loved to have done a practice race for this race, but I just didn't have the time. Struggling to squeeze them in, and I had enough time to do a little bit, and I decided to practice the manufacturers instead. Because it's Group 3, the tyre wear on the Ferrari, I thought I'd probably get better returns. But ideally I would have liked to practice this a bit as well, because I've not driven the car. You have to really push this car. You have to really, I mean, when I say that, I mean overdrive it, as in sort of push too hard almost, but the car just lets you get away with it. Right, so we're catching up here, but that's to be expected. There's a train of cars in front. Try and get good drive out the hairpin. Start thinking about where we're going to maybe get past. Probably into the final chicane on the brakes after 130R. I'd say that's a good spot at Suzuka. Into turn 1, no. Maybe between the Lesmos, if someone gets a poor Lesmo 1, you can sometimes send it into Lesmo 2. But I'd say probably the best spot is into the hairpin and into the final chicane after 130R. I think I'd say those are your spots really at Suzuka. But we're just taking it easy here. First lap. Just trying to eye things up, get a bit of fuel saving in if you can. But not really required here. Fuel saved pretty well on our manufacturer's first stint. I'll show you guys that tomorrow, but that race all fell apart as well. Alright, on to the start of lap 2. Come on, what can we do now? I'm stuck behind these guys long enough. Not really anywhere through here though, unfortunately. Just trying to save the tyres really through this sector. That's my one a bit there. That's disappointing. going to be in the toe. Oh, this is bad. He's defended, so we're running it down the outside. I was thinking of backing it off, but because we've got the slight overlap, I was thinking he might just leave me enough room to run around the outside, but got a little tap, pushed off the circuit. I mean, that's alright. It's a bit cheeky trying to run around the outside of 130R, but I do think that I was far enough alongside there to earn at least a bit of racing room, but never mind. Like I say, it was a bit ambitious trying to run around the outside there, but it's Group 4, you know, so this is the sort of category where you can do those sorts of moves because everything's just a bit slower. You know, compare the racing moves that you see in something like British touring cars, for example, with F1. You know, very different styles of racing, isn't it? So, same thing's true with Group 4 compared to the other groups in the game, Group 3, Group 2, Group 1, etc. And I think that's to do with like usable grip, like how drivable the car is. If everyone's in sort of slower cars with a lot of grip, then the racing tends to be very close, very exciting. No way past this Irish guy. Gonna get a better run out of Lesmo 2. I wonder if he's maybe got traction control with that boggin, or we've just got a better run, I'm not sure. Gave him a little tap there by accident, and then another one there as I was looking up the inside, so messed up really. I probably had a chance to get past him there. Just a little bit clumsy, messed it up. But we're losing a lot of time here. He's defending quite hard as well, which I suppose he's entitled to do, but I'm just always of the opinion that if someone's faster than you behind, it makes sense to not fight them too. I'm not saying let them by, but don't fight them so hard that you both lose lap time. You might as well just let them get their move and then get the slipstream and follow them. Because we're both losing a lot of time here. It's been several laps now. But it's my own fault for having such a poor qualifying, isn't it? So, that's the way it goes. We're about to get a tap up the rear. I think it's into that... Oh, we lost it a little bit there. I think it's into that chicane on the next lap. So that's when it all starts to go a bit downhill for me. Well, further downhill. It went downhill in qualifying really, but it starts to go a bit further downhill. Just let me finish this cup of tea off. Good stuff. Right. We're looking forward to the first round of Season 3's manufacturers. It's going to be Dragon Trail Gardens in Group 4, which is a combination that I know pretty well, so that should be quite good. In a daily not that long ago, I got a 36.4 in the Ferrari on that track, which is pretty rapid. I think at the moment, the top 10 board, that would put you second pretty easily, but there's not many times on that board yet. Because there's a 10-day break now between championships, which I think is much needed. I think everyone's... Certainly if you've done every round of this season, that's quite a big commitment. So, get some social time in, see some friends, relax, get some sun, enjoy the weather, and then regroup for Season 3. And the first round of the Nations is Brands Hatch Group 3. So that's going to be Lancers, probably... maybe one or two VW VGTs. I'm not expecting too many, but I think some of the top guys are catching on to that car being quite quick, although it's a narrow track of Brands, so perhaps not. I reckon it's going to be GTRs, Evos. You might see a few Alphas, because I think that car's quite quick around Brands, but because of the tyre wear in the race, I don't think many people will actually race it, but you might see a few of them on the top 10 board. So that'll be a good round, good opening round. Right, so we're still behind this guy. And we're now on to lap 5, so pretty much all the race. But I mean, the pressure I've put on him has given him the hurry up a little bit, so we're both catching the packs in front, so it's not too bad. I just would always obviously rather have clear track in front. But, I mean, we're getting slipstream for the whole lap, I suppose. Which would be useful had the fuel saving been more of a factor in this car. It's so good on tyres as well, this car. Suzuka's notoriously quite a harsh track for tyres. Certainly if I was in the 458 that I'm usually driving in Group 4, I'd have way worse tyre wear than this. So look, I'm swarming him here, but I'm just catching him at the wrong time. He always seems a bit slow through second Lesmo. I wonder if he's going in a bit too hot and he's just not able to carry the speed and the momentum through the corner. Seems to be the case. And I've got the Spaniard behind as well. Now he had a time that was quick enough for pole, but because of the lobby glitch, he's one of the guys that started at the back. So he is going to be quite quick. I'm a bit conscious of it. But as we make a mistake there, dropping the wheel on the outside. I do that a lot on the approach to Spoon. So yes, I'm conscious of that fast guy behind me, but I'm also conscious that there's not really much I can do here. And they get the run at the wrong time, I need to be getting it sort of through 130 so I can outbrake him into the final chicane, but having to lift at the start of 130, and watch the mirrors here. Little tap. So we lost 5-6 seconds or so there. Lost quite a lot of ground. Let's make it back up. Just about half a race still to go, just less, but do have enough time to try and claw back some ground, but it's not going to be easy. Purple sectors always help. Come on, come on, come on. Right, so got a few guys coming into the pits. Roughly around 20 to 19 litres or so. That seems to be what most people are on. I'm going to come in as well. A little bit more fuel than these guys. Might be because I was stuck behind the Irish guy for ages, so just short shifting. I wasn't playing with the fuel map, although I could have been, but no need really. So good on fuel. Now, this French driver in front, I'm always very wary of him. I've had some bad experiences with him in the past, so I wasn't too happy to see him in front as we left the pits. And my mission here is just to make up ground. I don't want to be getting into scraps and battles that I don't really want to be in. and this guy's gonna, I know he's gonna fight tooth and nail over every little position, and I'm not in the mood for that, you know. Just been punted off the track. Just let me do my race. Anyway, never mind. We'll see. You never know. He might be really fair this time. And also, I don't need to get past him. If he's got the pace, I'm happy to follow him and we can both work together, but that's not usually the case. He's going alright here though, but I think he might be a pad user, so he tends to go quite well early in the stint, and he just burns through his tyres so much, but he's got no pace in the latter half of the stint, so he's doing alright at the moment, which is good. Hope he can get past these guys in front. Or at least start to pressure them a bit. Right, in the tow on the approach to 130R again. Not really much I can do here. Just have to let him go. We both do the exact same thing. That's ridiculous. So yeah, big mistake. So that's a shame. That was another perfect opportunity to get past him there, wasn't it? If not through that chicane, certainly down this straight, because he would have lost drive. But just ended up following him and doing the exact same thing. Bizarre. Alright, come on, head down. Starting to get a feel for the car now as well. What it can do, what it can't do. Again, I'm going to just be catching it just for a long time. I should have a little lift here. Just try and turn it in and follow him. It's hard to follow in this view, I find anyway. Come on mate, get a move on. So I wouldn't even have defended that chicane, to be honest. I would have just braked on the outside. Wants to break down the inside of the car, so he's defending really hard here, which isn't a good idea because there's going to be cars leaving the pits. So watch what he does here. There's a car in that pit lane. He goes to try and go down the inside of him, which is just so stupid. I think he ends up pushing that car in the pit lane out of the way as well. I don't know why he did that. I wonder if he thought if he went to the outside I would have done what he did and tried to go up the inside past that guy in the pits, but Anyway, we're past him, so good. We've got the slightly volatile French driver out of the way. Good. But now we're behind the Irish driver again. Well, not yet, but I'm probably going to catch him quite quickly if the first half of the race is anything to go by. So the key is going to be just sort of getting past him straight away, really. Using the momentum at the right time. And not sort of giving him chance to settle into defending me. And then the next target will be to try and catch up with that Spaniard that punted me off. I'm pretty sure he's still got the penalty for it, so if I can get clear, it's probably at least 5 seconds, if not 10 seconds. He should have got a 10-second penalty for that, to be honest with you. Punting me off in the braking zone, so he's probably got a 10-second penalty, so if we can get within range, we can at least maybe finish ahead of him. Just such a shame in qualifying, but I think that's my own fault for not practicing enough. I didn't really get a clean lap, which didn't help. There's some people doing odd things on out laps, which it seems to be every race, and I just don't understand why people want to race you on an out lap. I mean, what is the point? What is the point? So, yeah, but I also messed up turn 1 in the lap that should have been my quick lap. I just blew it in turn 1. Took I'm trying to show you here. You sort of turn in without braking, lift, turn in, and sort of brake hard. And I aim for the curb for the first phase here. We'll see if we can see this curb here. But in qualifying, it just pushed me a little bit wide through that second phase, and I ended up running it off on the outside. So I blew my qualifying lap. That's how it happened. And like I said, the bankers got blown by people just doing stupid things on out laps. So I ended up backing off, left myself loads of room, had a nice clear track, came in for fresh tyres, set it up really nicely, and then yeah, just blew it on turn 1. So I was really disappointed with myself. So that's what happened in qualifying. And as you can see, it's affected the whole race, because I got fairly good pace this race. If I just had some clean track, I think we could do alright. Probably top 5, if not top 3, at least. And that's without practice as well, remember. So if I'd practiced the car a bit more, we could have probably done really well. But I mean, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Anyway, this is the chance I need. He's defending, so we're going to have to do it the hard way. Well, we just outbrake him, just about get it turned in, try and hold the line so we can't do the cutback, and there we go. So now, the Spaniard in front is the next target. He's got that penalty for hitting us off, but I'm going to try and get past him on track if I can. So we've fought back in this race. Now if it was me and I hit someone off, I have a penalty, and the person who I hit off catches me back up towards the end of the race, and I still haven't served the penalty that I have for hitting them off, I might think about letting them through. I certainly wouldn't fight them too hard if they're having a look at me. So, I mean, just bear that in mind. I mean, what would you guys do? Would you guys fight the guy who you hit off when he doesn't have a penalty and you do, and he's caught you back up towards the end of the race in the same race where you hit him off? I don't know, maybe it's just me. So, good toe down here into turn 1. He's gone a bit too tight through the second phase. Ideally, I want to get this momentum here and run it down the inside of him, but he's defended it. But look here, we're ahead. He gives me a little tap here. I'm turning right, and he just pitches me left. Now, I know that's an ambitious move around the outside there, but it's the final lap. I had the momentum. We were just ahead. And all we had to do was leave me a bit of room, and we've got that position. And bear in mind, I'm making that move. I wouldn't normally make that move. I probably wouldn't have done it on the Irish driver, for example. But you have to remember, as I try and jump out of the way of those cars there, by the way, coming back on track, that's why we lost more. That's why we lost more ground. Came back on track with someone behind me, so I just tried to dive out of his way. But yeah, so bear in mind that I'm doing that move on the guy who hit me off a few laps earlier and still has the penalty for doing so. So I was not expecting him to fight it that hard. I was thinking he would have yielded, to be honest. So I was furious at this point, really mad. I was mad at myself for messing up the qualifying, but I was particularly mad at that because I drove so hard in the final stage of this race to try and claw back that ground that we lost for getting punted off. And the fact that I caught the guy back up and that happened, just shocking, really. Shocking. But I mean, it's racing, isn't it? And he obviously wasn't too happy because he had his pole lap ruined by the lobby. I think he was fast enough for pole, but ended up being at the back. So obviously he's not too happy about that. But yeah, so that was a really disappointing race. Crap round, absolutely crap round. And yeah, and remember, there's always I was deliberating not entering this race, remember, because I didn't have the time to practice it. So when stuff like that happens, it just makes you feel like, well, what's the point? I might as well not bothered, you know. But I mean, try and stay positive, try and have a positive outlook. It's my own fault really for messing up the qualifying, so I'll take it on the chin. And it's a stupid car anyway, so I don't care too much. But it's just disappointing. Could have had such a better result. And similar story in the manufacturers, to be honest, as well. So just a really disappointing evening's racing, but what can you do? So, alright guys, how many points have we got? Rubbish. That's going to be a dropped round for sure. So, pretty rubbish end to the season, really, but we'll regroup and we'll come back stronger for Season 3. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you're all doing well. Drop a like on the video if you're liking the stuff recently. That last video I did with the being kicked out of the rooms, doing really well for some reason. I think it's just because I've done a YouTube thumbnail, it seems to make a difference. But anyway, I'm rambling now. Guys, I hope you're doing well, and I will see you in the next one. Alright, take it easy. Bye.